Okay, so today I'm going to talk about masking and how you apply a mask to an image. So what I'm going to do is I have a color layer here which is called the base, and generally when you open an image you have a locked layer. So you double click the lock, you decide what you're going to call it. In this case I'm going to call this the base layer. I've already applied base in here. So like I've always said in class, what you need to do when you're doing any major adjustments to an image that you're not sure that you want to keep or confirm, you duplicate the layer. So that's Command J, but in your case that's Control J. Another way to duplicate a layer is to drag it down into the new layer, and that'll make another copy. So each time you should name these, so name them by double clicking into it. And in this case I'm just going to get rid of this top layer because it's an additional layer, drop it into the bin. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an adjustment to the base layer copy, or let's call this a new layer. So let's call it top layer. So now we have a base and a top. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some adjustments to this image, and in this case what I'm going to do is I will do a curves adjustment. The curves adjustment will make a significant change to the image. But let's say for example I only want to affect the background and I actually don't want to affect, in this case, Jamie the piano tuner. So what I've done is I've made the adjustments. So this is before and after. So this is with the top layer with the adjustments switched on, and you can see through to the base layer with no adjustments. So in order to apply a mask we need to hit the mask button, which is signified by a rectangle and a little circle in there, and it's called add a layer mask. So now we're going to do a layer mask. What you need to make sure is over here on your left hand side that your foreground and background color are set to black and white. Black is used to brush out parts of a layer and white is used to brush them in. So in this case we have a black brush, and if I use the black brush along here, what happens is we brush out parts of the adjustment that we just applied, but we're doing them in a local way to a global image. So in this case what we're doing is we're just brushing out Jamie in this image so that he's not as dark as the layer underneath. And in order to increase or decrease your brush size, you use the left and the right bracket keys, so you can brush in and out. And also what you can do is on your brush up here you can use the hardness and softness. A harder brush will give you a very defined edge like so, Command Z to undo, and a softer brush will give you something like that, so you can't see it quite as much, and it's a feathered edge. So if you're doing very tiny details like along here, you would use a softer and a smaller brush in order to make the adjustment more accurate. So what we're doing here is using the black brush to black out the mask, to brush out the mask, excuse me. So if you switch on and off the layer, you can see that the adjustment now is only made to the background, but I can see from this image that I've missed some parts of Jamie. So a very quick way of seeing what you've missed is to switch off the bottom layer, make sure you have your mask selected, and see what's happening in here. Our opacity is switched to 78% and I want it to be 100%. So I'm making my brush bigger. I'm using the black brush. So I'm brushing out all of these parts here using the black brush, and I'm just masking them out. And the beauty of masking is if we make a mistake, for example here, switch this layer back on, you can see I have a very bright patch here. I use X to switch the brush back to white, and what I do then is I brush it back in. So this is the difference between erasing and masking. In masking you have the ability to brush in and out sections of the image that you want to keep. So if you were happy with that adjustment, we would right click and say apply layer mask. So what happens then is we now have an adjustment layer, and if you switch off the base layer, this is our adjustment. So if we were happy with that, which we wouldn't probably make this edit anyhow, it's just for demonstration purposes, we could right click and we could flatten image, and that will make one single flat image. But I wouldn't recommend doing that till you're absolutely finitely happy with the end result. So that's